everyone, my name is Robin Hamilton. I am Senior Associate Dean of Admission and Director of Recruitment Equity here at Oxy. I am also a proud Oxy alum, and I'm here with two wonderful students that are going to answer some questions for us. Shae, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Shae. I'm a first year, and I'm thinking about majoring in art history.
Hello, my name is Kai Morfin. I use the he series pronouns. I'm a senior on campus. I'm a double major in theater and philosophy.
All right. So the big question that our first-year students always ask is about living on campus, residential life. So let's start there. Shae, for you, this was a little bit more recent. How did you find a roommate when you came to campus first?
That was actually such an interesting, weird process. But basically, I ended up choosing my roommate just by meeting them on Instagram, because we had our little class page, and I just was talking to people, and then we decided to be roommates. But I know for a lot of other people, they go the random route, which I honestly think might be the better option, because a lot of people really love the matches that they got during that.
Yeah. Kai, did you have a random roommate? Did you kind of investigate folks before you came to Oxy?
I did. I did the roommate application. I went through the application system. I absolutely love my roommate. I love him. I've roomed with him all years that I've been on campus. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is really cool, actually.
He's my best friend. I love the guy. Yeah, isn't that great?
I also lived with my freshman year roommate, sophomore year and junior year, and then the same house senior year, so it does also happen.
Yeah.
It's very cute. I was also in her wedding a month ago, so
What?
it's very sweet. So either way can work. You can find roommates before, but definitely know that most students go kind of the random route. You fill out the housing questionnaire, and I know many of you are wondering, when will I find out my roommate? Usually not until the beginning of August, so I know it's a little bit of a wait, but that housing questionnaire that Kai was talking about will come out in May. You have usually about a month or a handful of weeks to fill it out, so it's a little bit of a wait, but we promise you will find out about your roommates before you move in. So Shae, can you choose where you live as a first year?
So you don't get to choose where you live as a first year. There are a set couple of first year dorms. I live in Poly, which is the multicultural dorm. It's one of the themed living communities. But as an upperclassman, you get a choice of so many other ones that fit different identifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kai, do all the first years live together?
They do. Yes, as a first year, you live together. I'm a tour guide, and as a tour guide, we like to say that it's really nice because you're immediately inducted into this community where the people around you, the people you're living with, are in the same boat socially. You're taking the same classes. So you do live together.
Yeah. And then another question that came in was, what do I need to bring and what do I maybe not need to bring? Do you all want to share maybe the things that you brought that you're glad you brought, or the things that you brought that you're I don't need this, or I never need this, or that?
You definitely need a fan. You definitely need a fan. It gets really hot, especially in the beginning of the year. But then towards the middle of the year, it's a lot cooler, but I wish that I brought a fan, and I still don't have one.
I brought too many clothes.
Yeah.
That's a common one, I think, is when first years overpack on clothes.
Yeah.
You're gonna get clothes here,
You are.
Yeah, so
Gonna get a lot of clothes.
Yeah,
I do a
yeah.
lot of shopping and thrifting and stuff around.
Yeah.
And actually, another thing, you do need a jacket. A good, comfortable, warm jacket, because it gets really cold in the night.
Yeah, so it's warm during the day, but yes, it does get cool at night. This is maybe similar. You mentioned you're getting a lot of clothes while you're here. You might be doing some shopping, but what if you forget something? What if you're I thought I packed everything. Is there places around Oxy to get that thing you don't have?
Yeah, there's one, the bookstore, which actually has a lot more items that you wouldn't even think of. There's Target. There's so many stores around here. There's also Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, multiple Targets, Walgreens, grocery stores, and everything's very walkable. So I remember forgetting toothpaste. I remember forgetting a lot of things, and I just went out the same day I showed up, and I was I'm gonna pick all that up.
It's totally fine. Yeah, sometimes parents ask how long should we stay during orientation, and I'd say most parents are there for the first day, but oftentimes that first night it's great to stay because you get late night calls of actually I forgot this, and this, and you can go out and have your parents run those errands for you the first night. So that's maybe something to remind mom and dad. How much time do you spend in your room versus elsewhere on campus? And maybe that changes as you become like an upperclassman a little bit.
For me, I don't actually spend all that much time in my room except for like in the night. I have a single now, so all of my friends hang out in my room. But apart from that, I'm just like always around, like just like outside on campus.
Yeah, I think I'm a little too busy to just like hang out in my room for most of the day. But I mean, I love my roommates, and we had another roommate, and so I love hanging out with them. We eat lunch together, and so we usually go to the room for that. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So talking about being busy, let's transition. There were definitely questions about Los Angeles and getting around Los Angeles in particular. So common question, do folks have cars on campus? Do either of you have cars on campus? And if yes or no, how do you get off campus?
I don't have a car. That's definitely a work in progress because next year I will have a car. But for right now, I tried out the bus recently. That worked. I got to Goodwill. That's where I did my thrifting. The bus, like there are a lot of really cute neighborhoods just around Eagle Rock and Highland Park. Like there's also like Echo Park, Silver Lake. They're all like maybe 15 minutes away. The bus gets me there too. There you can also take Ubers. There's the Bengal bus too.
Yeah, 50% of students on campus have a car. That's like the stat.
Wow.
I personally have never had a car on campus. I've never found that it has hindered my ability to get off campus. I'm a big surfer. Me and my roommate, we go surfing often, and so we take his car and just paying for gas money. And then the other thing that I find is helpful is the metro. Like the metro is really close. I don't know if you've taken it, but it's super cheap, and like even if Slice gives you like a free tap card or something, you can get to Long Beach in like an hour, which would be like 2 hour drive or something crazy. Not 2 hours.
I'm like that. I didn't even know.
You have time.
Yeah.
You have time to explore the metro. Definitely. 2 thumbs up for the metro. There's a stop like mile and a half from campus. If it's a Saturday afternoon, you have time, like you can definitely walk there. You can have a friend drop you off, ride a bike there. It's pretty easy, and you can connect to downtown, which is like a couple of stops. So, and that will connect you all over the place. Go wherever you need. So what about just like around Oxy, like in terms of walking distance? Do you have like favorite places that you like to go just even off campus?
I love the Strip so much because there's such good food on York Boulevard. That's the Strip. One of my favorite restaurants that I go to with my friends is Joy. I think that might be like everyone at Oxy's favorite restaurant on York Boulevard. It's Taiwanese food. It's really good. Yeah.
Joy's a classic. Angel's Tacos. You've been to Angel's?
Yes.
That place.
Yes.
Oh man, that place is good.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
really
good.
really good. Yeah.
And then Taiwanese food, difficult to beat Joy. Dan.
Yeah.
Dan,
That's
so
literally
right?
my order.
It's the same
It's
thing.
so good.
It's awesome.
Great.
It's awesome.
Oh my god.
How much would you say LA kind of like factors into your life on campus, or how have you engaged with it, either like through classes or just like social life, that kind of thing? And again, maybe that changes throughout your time at Oxy.
My first year seminar was actually like life and literature in LA. So it was actually really interesting. We were tasked with like going places and just like learning about different neighborhoods that are really close to Oxy. We were encouraged to take the metro. We also learned about like the different there are dash buses too. But like I guess in my day-to-day, or not my day-to-day, but my week-to-week I should say, I really only explore LA on the weekends because like I'm in classes during the week.
I do get out during the week a lot. It's usually like 4 a.m. if I'm like surfing. But yeah, weekends is big for going out into LA, and it plays it definitely plays a big role, especially I think being like in the arts. LA is like a really arts-based city, and so there's a lot of adjunct faculty coming in and teaching classes and like workshops and things, especially in theater. So I would say that's a big part of how I interact with it.
There's also an Explore LA class for 1 credit, which is really random, but it like encourages you to go on hikes and like do so many things that you can literally get a credit for.
Cool. So transitioning a little bit to kind of like health balance on campus. How do you all sort of stay balanced with like schoolwork and your mental health and just sort of like joy in your life outside of the classroom and your responsibilities?
Sorry, I'm thinking. That's a really hard
You want
question.
me to go first?
Yes,
Cool.
please.
Yeah. I would say probably the main thing. I mean, Emmons is always a solid resource for that. It's like the sort of the go-to. They offer free therapy sessions. And then I think also it's sort of, I mean, kind of different, but like clubs help me with that a lot. Like having a place where I can like convene with other students who like share my interests and like escape from my academics. And you know, I mean, philosophy club where you just like sort of get together and talk about philosophy, and it's like, you know, it's not an academic setting. We're not being given homework. It's just a good place to sort of like unwind and relax with my friends.
That's really cool. I would emphasize that honestly. My friends are like my biggest support here.
Yeah.
Living in Poly, the multicultural hall, has given me so many of my like best friends that are like my second family already. So that's definitely where I look for support. But then there are also different groups. There's like the mindfulness group. There's like a survivor group. So many different places to find support at Oxy.
Yeah. And how did you all make friends and like build those connections that we know are so important to kind of keeping a balance and enjoying your time at Oxy?
I already said it, but where I live was so important to that. And then also I would say clubs too. Like I'm a part of BSA, which is the Black Student Association, and literally almost all of my friends are also in BSA. And then I met a lot of friends just in my classes and like studying with them, going to lunch with a lot of people. I also met a lot of people in passing too.
Yeah, passing, that's an interesting one. 'Cause, I mean, like you see people most days. So like, I remember seeing you. Yeah, that's definitely good with classes. Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing was first year common rooms. And for me, like the first year common room was like the hangout spot for
Yeah,
everybody.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And you know, it was like before COVID when you know everyone was like hanging out in there unmasked and you know playing pool and sharing like music and stuff. So yeah, first year common rooms.
Yeah.
You mentioned BSA. Are there other things that y'all are just like involved with? It sounds like surfing, philosophy, like other just activities that you all do.
Yeah, I guess I'm also like really interested in studio art, and a lot of my friends I met because they also make art. So sometimes we'll like go on walks together and just like sit on random little like secret spots in campus and just like draw.
That's awesome. I love that.
I
love that. Yeah, I'm a hip hop choreographer for dance production on Pulse Dance Club. Yeah.
Shae's all of a sudden becoming very starstruck from.
No, yeah. I'm also just like I literally watched you perform.
Oh, really?
Yes. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Do you want to explain what dance production is?
Yeah,
now
dance
that we're
production. Dance production is my baby. This is like this is the biggest club on Oxy's campus. Basically, it is a club wherein students they choreograph their own dance numbers and then they sort of teach it to other students in a big you know dance piece, and then all of the pieces come together and they have a show in March, and it like sells out. All the students show up, alumni come, community members are there. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, and that when I got here was advertised as like the highlight of the year. Like everyone looks forward to the Dance Pro show.
Dance Pro's big,
and it was really cool this year.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. What else do I do? Oh, I'm a member of Occidental Children's Theater. Yeah, I do like sort of energetic folk tales for children over the summer. Yeah, and then I'm a tour guide.
Yeah, the best part.
Yeah.
All right. So also some questions about academics. So we do go to class in addition to all this other fun stuff. How did you choose your major? And Shae, how are you sort of going about deciding where it is that you want to major?
Right. You can go first.
All right, yeah, sure. So I knew coming into college that I wanted to be an actor. And so I knew that I wanted to at least major in theater to some respect. I also knew that I wanted to try philosophy. And so my first semester, first year seminar, was a class on Humor, Laughter, and the Morally Good Life. It was a philosophy class about humor. And I took that one course and I was like, I love this. I'm immediately adding philosophy as a major. And so I started taking like all the classes I could in philosophy and in theater. And then I just added it second semester, sophomore year.
Cool.
Yeah. I came into Oxy knowing that I wanted to major in art history, and I will be declaring it at the end of this month, which is really exciting. I just was doing a lot of programs in high school that were really based around art history and curation because I want to do something in curation with galleries like later in life. And that is actually the reason I came to Oxy, because I love the way that they combine the art and art history programs. So, because like for the major, you have to take 2 studio art classes, and I love to make art. So I thought, why not?
Yeah.
And so far, I've just been taking like a bunch of art history classes. I didn't get 2 in my first semester, but now I'm taking 2, and they're both insanely cool. I'm taking actually a class, it's history of photography, with the chair of the department, and she brings in a bunch of different like curators and like guest speakers to talk to us about photography, which could be boring, but it is not because of this class. Like, I'm actually so obsessed with it, so I'm really excited for next semester too.
Awesome. And speaking of your first year, there's a question about like, what does your first year schedule look like? Like, how did you choose classes? Were you in all the classes you want? It sounds like you got a chance to take art history second semester, but maybe not first semester. How does that kind of work out?
It's a lottery. Like, it really is like chance sometimes. My time slot for signing up for classes was really late first semester. So even though I had like planned out my entire schedule over the summer, like in August, when I got there, those were not the classes that I got. But I ended up being really happy with the classes that I chose because I kept an open mind. I knew like I wanted to do like an English class, so I ended up taking like contemporary American poetry. Loved that class. I'm taking another class with the same professor this semester just because I loved it so much. I had gotten into a Russian lit class that I didn't want to take, but then I switched it for a studio art class with a resident artist, and that class changed my entire perspective on everything. So I think, I don't know, I liked my schedule because it was really balanced. Like, I thought about what I could take, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
Yeah, I think that open mind piece is really helpful because, selecting classes is based on sort of class year. So obviously seniors, juniors, and sophomores are getting to choose classes before our first years. And so you're probably going to have some really amazing experiences in your first year, but they may be different than what you planned to take. So get excited, like look through the course catalog, but come with a backup and then a backup to the backup and then like a third backup. And know that you will have some of these really awesome experiences that she mentioned. Another question was like getting to know faculty members. Kai, throughout your experience, how have you gotten to know your professors? Build relationships with them? What does that look like?
A lot of my closest relationships with people in philosophy sort of comes, from the classes that I take in there. And so if I find a professor that I really connect with, I continue to take those classes, and then one of those professors becomes my academic advisor in that major. In theater, it's a little bit different because there's a lot of adjunct faculty, and so I've been lucky enough to like maintain relationships with directors that I've had who've come in from Los Angeles, and I sort of like they'll sort of mentor me and as I'm progressing through my years at Occidental, and then they'll come back and teach a class. And there's one professor in particular who directed me in a show in sophomore year. And then he came back and taught a class that I took, and now he's back again teaching another class, and I was not able to take it because I have a full schedule. So what I do is our classes end at the same time, and so I meet up with him after class, and I'm like discuss with him about what did we do today in this class? So this, and I'll ask him questions about finding an agent or a manager or things like that. And then the other thing that helps is. There's one of the professors in the theater department invites students over for Thanksgiving every year who maybe like don't have a place to go, and so I was able to do that when I could not go home for Thanksgiving, and so I went to his house. It was very nice.
Yeah,
other students there.
Cool. Any other offices that you think folks should get to know when they come to campus, maybe especially the first year, or just offices that have been really helpful throughout your time on campus?
That's a good question. I would definitely say, I don't know, I just really like my first year advisor. He teaches Latin, and he's also in the CSLC. Yeah, he's in the CSLC department. And he's been really helpful for just like figuring out how to balance my schedule, but also for making me feel comfortable with being open about literally everything at Oxy. Like, I don't know, I feel like I had a really huge game plan for what I wanted from college, but obviously things changed, and like, he's just been really helpful for all of that.
Yeah.
Slice office.
Let's say what SLICE stands for.
Student Office of Leadership, Involvement, and Community Engagement.
Awesome.
It is our it is the Oxy students' resource for getting off campus outside of academic classes. Broadly speaking, they do a lot of things, but they they'll bring performers to campus. They're the ones who give out the free tap cards for the metro. They'll like send out emails about going to Dodgers games or musicals for free. They do a lot of like engaging with Los Angeles, and as a first year, one of the things I wish I did more was engage with the Slice office, because I think it would have made me feel sort of like more comfortable and sort of inculcated in Los Angeles right off the bat, versus like trying to brave this giant city myself.
Yeah.
So I'd say Slice office.
Can I also say another office?
Yeah, please.
The ICC,
Ooh,
the Intercultural Community Center. I absolutely love, one, like the building is really cute. It's a house, which is like the most comforting thing when you're like coming from home and like, living in a dorm now. But there's like a lot of different programming. I actually went to like a little like painting thing yesterday for a club that was started for like Black queer students. And then I also went to like a healing yoga program. I don't know, I'm just like, all of the programming is just like really based around just like healing and like giving yourself a break and like really supporting POC students, and I love that.
Yeah, awesome. All right, last question, and Kai, this might be a little far back in the memory, but what were the factors that you had when you were like considering and choosing a college? And I would also maybe just add to that, like, do you have any advice for folks that are choosing colleges?
For me, I was thinking a lot about size. I came from a school where like all of my classes had only 16 students in it. I had a grade of 60 people. So I knew that I did not want to be somewhere that was like much larger than that, because I love that the attention that teachers like paid to you when you're in a small setting. And that's definitely what I get from Oxy. All of my classes are really small, which I kind of feel really lucky about, because I'm not in like huge lectures. Being in LA is another great one. Having like so much access and support to like be able to get off campus, but also being able to engage with the things on campus. And my advice would be to definitely participate in every single thing that these schools give to you. Like, the programming is so that you can make your decision, so why not make use of that?
Yeah. I knew that I wanted to be in a city, because I love cities, lots of buildings, and also cities tend to be acting hubs, and I knew I wanted sort of like an acting hub, and I think like my big piece of advice is keep a very open mind. A lot of people, I think, at least in my school, I don't know how you feel about this, but people went into the college application process very much thinking like, I know exactly what type of thing I want. And I did the same. And I think like through the college application process, I had to like come to terms with the idea that like, maybe what I thought I wanted is actually not what's going to be the best fit for me.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think keeping an open mind in that regard will be vastly helpful.
Yeah. Great advice. Wonderful. Well, thank you both for answering questions. Thanks for watching. Good luck with the college search process, and obviously stay in touch.